Greetings viewers, Eric the Car Guy, also known as ETCG1. Yeah, I say that a lot at the beginning of every video, and I also say if it is your birthday, happy birthday! And in addition to that, please enjoy this electronic cake. Today's topic, the Fast and Furious effect. At least that's what I'm calling this. It seemed to me 2001 is when the original Fast and Furious came out. In fact, they are talking about or assembling the cast right now for Fast and Furious 9. So the franchise has been going on for quite some time. It's quite popular. You know, all the kids are watching them movies. So at least in my mind, there's sort of a before Fast and Furious and after Fast and Furious. And I'm not saying the import car scene wasn't a thing before Fast and Furious. I'm saying Fast and Furious seemed to give it a voice, seemed to give it a direction, seemed to inspire a lot of other people to do that kind of thing. In fact, during that time, it was 2001 when the movie was released, I think I mentioned that, I was working for an Acura dealership, and you know, these cars were quite popular during that time. In fact, this car came out in 2001, in the last year for the Integra. But my point is that it inspired a lot of people to do a lot of dumb things, at least some of the things that I saw. It's very seldom that I see a car like this that's done well and seems to be an improvement over the original. In my opinion, okay, I've done other videos about this, but the point of this video is to talk about how the movie Fast and the Furious seemed to change things. It's obviously here to stay. It's obviously become a part of our culture, part of our lexicon. I mean, Fast and the Furious is a thing. And I think the movie itself, you know, sort of bridged the divide between, you know, the hot rod culture, which seemed to exist mostly before that, and then after that, there seemed to be this whole import circuit. The import circuit, at least in my mind, was kind of underground. I mean, the import guys would show up to car shows, but they were kind of pushed off in the corner. You know, the hot rod guys are like, yeah, we ain't having no imports here kind of thing. But me, you know, I sort of straddled the line because, you know, I loved hot rods, but at the same time I worked for Honda and I liked the Hondas, and I liked the things that were being done to Hondas. I could appreciate them. So I had a connection with them, whereas I think at that time there was still the perception that, you know, imports were no good, whatever. And I'm totally generalizing here, but this is a discussion channel, and that's kind of what I'm allowed to do since, you know, it is my channel. The import culture didn't really exist in the way that it does today. I think those movies or that franchise, you know, propelled the import scene to a whole new level. And like I said, gave it a voice, and more movies and more advertising, and you just started to see the import in a different light than you did before that, because before that it seemed to me that the people that were into the automotive performance market and modifying things, like I said, were doing old school hot rod type of things. They weren't necessarily messing with cars like this. I think that franchise, those movies, helped change that. And as a result, like I said, some people went down a path of destruction and pretty much killed a lot of these cars. And then some, you know, made beautiful machines and did some really great things, you know, some really cool artistic things. Recently I did the Power Tour, which that line seems to be blurred during the Power Tour. The Power Tour seems to be about a lot more than just quote unquote hot rods. It's just about cool stuff that people make and drive. So I love that culture. I love that they're more open to that. You know, if you modified it and you made it cool, you made it yours, you're in. You know, that's the way it felt. But I go to some car shows and it doesn't feel that way. Sometimes I go to the drag strip and it doesn't feel that way. You know, like those import guys over here, and there's old school hot rod dragster guys over here. And the age is different also. You know, you go to the old school hot rod shows, you see a lot of older guys like me. You go to an import show, you see, you know, 20-somethings, and they're, you know, driving stuff like this. So it seems generational as well. But I'm not saying the hot rod guys aren't watching the Fast and Furious movies, because they were smart when they made those movies. You know, what was Vin Diesel driving? Old school hot rod. I think that's part of what that movie did, is it gave us that introduction into the imports, and oh, imports can be cool too. The point is that old school meeting new school, I think, started to happen during that time, right around 2001. And we're a few years past that now, and now going on movie number 9. So my question to you, dear viewers, is what do you see with this phenomenon? Or do you see it as a phenomenon? Do you see the same thing that I'm trying to describe in this video, where it started out, okay, here we are, you know, in a quote unquote hot rod world, and now we're, you know, going to move to this new thing, you know, because they're not making those old school cars anymore. There's new stuff. So we have to embrace that, and if we're going to continue the culture of modification on, we have to pass the baton on to the next generation, which is into this. What's your take on all this? Was that something that bridged the divide, or maybe divided things further? Maybe, you know, there's two camps, and maybe that's something the franchise has been playing off this whole time. Do you see a Fast and Furious effect? And if so, how do you see that has affected car culture ever since? And what do you think of the franchise now? As long as we're on it, what do you think of the franchise now? Do you think we really need 9 movies? Anyway, if you have automotive questions, air@thecarguy.com. That's linked down below, along with additional videos and other stuff that sort of relates to this. So please check the description if you have questions. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate that stuff. Be safe, have fun, stay dirty, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.